Hello everyone, this is Fine from Tech Gaming Villa. I hope you all are well. Today I'm going to talk about another part of the video of Samsung S90C and LG C3. First, I'm going to talk about these two TVs' motion, like flicker-free black frame insertion, motion interpolation, stutter, 24p judder, its variable refresh rate, inputs, gaming features, supported resolutions, PS5 and Xbox compatibility, LG C3 and S90C sound quality, smart features, and remote. If you are new in my channel, then please subscribe and press the bell icon for future notifications and upcoming videos. I have another channel named Awesome Tech Gaming Pro, where I upload similar kind of tech videos like TV comparison, sound system, home theater, graphics card. You can check and subscribe. The LG C3 isn't quite flicker free, as a small decrease in brightness corresponds with the display's refresh cycles. It's very different from pulse width modulation flicker on TVs with LED backlights and isn't noticeable. On the other hand, S90C TV isn't technically flicker free, as a small decrease in brightness corresponds with the display's refresh cycle. This is very different from pulse width modulation flicker on TVs with LED backlights and isn't noticeable. LG C3 has an optional black frame insertion feature that reduces the appearance of persistence blur caused by the TV's nearly instantaneous pixel response time. Like the LG C2 LED, it can only flicker at 60 Hz. BFI also reduces the TV's perceived brightness, which is noticeable in practice. On the other hand, S90C has an optional black frame insertion feature that reduces the appearance of persistence blur caused by the TV's nearly instantaneous response time. It can only insert black frames at a 60 Hz refresh rate. The LG C3 is like all the LG's high-end OLEDs. The optional motion interpolation feature works well. However, it also introduces what is commonly known as the soap opera effect, which will annoy some people. Motion appears significantly smoother with less persistence blur thanks to the higher frame rate. But again, there are some noticeable artifacts in busy scenes. On the other hand, S90C has an optional motion interpolation feature to improve motion clarity. It doesn't work well on the Samsung S90C. There's a lot of artifacting around small fast-moving objects, even in slower scenes. In fast scenes, where motion interpolation tends to struggle, there's a higher than usual amount of artifacting and hallowing. LG C3, like all other OLEDs, there's noticeable stutter in low frame rate content due to their incredibly fast pixel response time. It's very noticeable in slow panning shots in movies, although some people are more sensitive to it than others. The black frame insertion feature and the motion interpolation feature can help reduce the appearance of stutter, but they both have their drawbacks. Unfortunately, S90C, to the nearly instantaneous pixel response time of the Samsung S90C, there's noticeable stutter with low frame rate content. It's especially noticeable in panning shots. The black frame insertion feature and the motion interpolation feature can help reduce the appearance of stutter, but they both have their drawbacks. LG C3 can improve judder when watching 24p movies or TV shows, even from sources that can only send a 60 Hz signal like a cable box. Like the LG G3 OLED, the real cinema setting has to be enabled to remove judder. Sadly, movies aren't judder free when BFI is enabled, because the black frame insertion feature can only flicker at 60 Hz on the LG C3. On the other hand, S90C also judder free when watching 24p movies or TV shows, even from sources that can only send a 60 Hz signal, as long as you set picture clarity to custom. If you would rather enable black frame insertion with the clear motion option, you can set judder reduction to 10 to greatly reduce judder, but it doesn't eliminate it completely. The LG C3 supports FreeSync and HDMI from VRR and G-Sync compatible certified, ensuring a nearly tear-free gaming experience from any VRR-enabled source. It works well across a wide refresh rate range, even when it drops very low, as the TV supports low frame rate compensation. There's some flickering when VRR is enabled, much as was reported on the LG C2 LED in 2022, and it's noticeable in low and fluctuating frame rate situations on a near black screen. On the other hand, S90C supports variable refresh rate technology to reduce screen tearing. It works well across a wide refresh rate range and supports sources with low frame compensation, ensuring your games remain nearly tear-free even when your frame rate drops very low. It's also compatible with all three types of VRR, ensuring it's fully compatible with all sources that support that feature. The input lags also pretty similar. On 1080p 60Hz LGC3 provides 10.4 millisecond, S90C 10.1 millisecond. On 4K 60Hz 10.3 millisecond on LGC3. On the other hand, S90C 10 millisecond. But on 4K 120Hz 5.5 millisecond on LGC3. On the other hand, S90C provides 5.4 milliseconds, which pretty similar. The TV has low input lag, resulting in a very responsive gaming experience, although it's still not as good as high-end gaming monitors. It's better than most TVs and good enough for most gamers. These results are with the boost mode settings set to on the game optimizer menu, which reduces input lag by 2 to 3 milliseconds. Like most TVs, the input lag is too high. Outside of game mode for competitive reaction-based games, the input lag is higher when forcing a 4:3 aspect ratio versus setting it to original. On the other hand, S90C has incredibly low input lag, ensuring a very responsive gaming experience with very little delay between your actions with your controller or mouse and action on screen. For retro gamers wanting to play in a 4:3 aspect ratio, only two resolutions work well: 640:480 at 60 Hz with an input lag of 27.8 millisecond and 1080p at 60 Hz with an input lag of 27.4 millisecond. Other 4:3 resolutions don't scale well or give improper resolution behavior. Note that to get the lowest input lag with Chroma 4:4 support, you need to set the input to PC with game mode enabled, like on the LG G3, and the C3 can enable 4:4 pass-through in the game optimizer settings, resulting in Chroma 4:4 support with the lowest input lag. Enabling 4:4 pass-through disables motion interpolation settings and a few picture processing settings, and is identical to setting the input to PC. Enabling boost in the game optimizer settings or setting the input to PC mode does not noticeably affect gamma when compared to having boost disabled. Similarly, gamma is not noticeably affected when comparing PC mode to HDMI input or 4:4 pass-through option enabled. The LG C3 LED supports all common formats and it displays Chroma 4:4 properly, which is important for clear text from a PC. On the other hand, Samsung S90C supports most common resolutions up to 4K 144 Hz. Chroma 4:4 signals are displayed properly with all supported resolutions, which is important for text clarity. Unfortunately, even though it can display Chroma 4:4 properly, text from a PC isn't clear due to the unusual subpixel structure. You should note that the TV can only currently output 144 Hz at 4K, 1080p at 144 Hz and 1440p at 144 Hz are unavailable. The TV can do 120 Hz without issues at all resolutions. However, the 83-inch model of this TV is limited to maximum refresh rate of 120 Hz at all resolutions. The TV is fully compatible with everything the PS5 supports, like 1440p, 120 Hz and 4K 120 Hz, as well as HDMI 4.0. It also has 4 ports supporting HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, which is great if you have multiple HDMI 2.1 consoles or want to connect a PC on LG C3. On the other hand, S90C is fully compatible with everything the PS5 offers, like 1440p 120 Hz, 4K 120 Hz, as well as HDMI 4.0 VRR. It also has 4 ports supporting HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, which is great if you have multiple HDMI 2.1 consoles or want to connect the PC. LG C3 is fully compatible with everything with the Xbox Series X, which offers 1440p, 120Hz, 4K 120Hz, HDMI 4-arm VRR, and FreeSync. All four HDMI ports support the full bandwidth of HDMI 2.1, which is great if you have both consoles or a PC you plan on using with the TV. On the other hand, S90C is fully compatible with everything with the Xbox Series X, which offers including 1440p, 120Hz, 4K 120Hz, and HDMI 4-arm VRR and FreeSync Premium Pro. All four HDMI ports support the full bandwidth of HDMI 2.1, which is great if you have both consoles or a PC you plan on using with the TV. As with LG's 2022 LEDs, all HDMI ports on the LG C3 support 48 GB per second bandwidth. It allows you to send 4K 120Hz signals with 12-bit color and full chroma 4:4, which is great for PC users. The Samsung S90C supports the full 48 GB per second bandwidth of HDMI 2.1 on all four HDMI ports. This allows you to take full advantage of multiple high bandwidth devices, like if you own both current gen consoles and a high-end gaming PC. Unfortunately, Samsung still doesn't support Dolby Vision but supports LG 10 Plus instead, which is very similar overall but not as widely supported. The TV also has variable analog audio out, so you can change the volume of any plugged-in analog devices such as headphones using the TV's remote. The LG C3 supports many audio formats, making it a movie lover's dream. In particular, both this TV and the LG G3 OLED new supports DTS audio formats, which is great if you like to watch DVDs or Blu-rays, as they tend to use DTS for their main audio tracks. On the other hand, Samsung S90C supports many audio formats, including many Dolby digital options. Unfortunately, it doesn't support DTS formats, which is disappointing, as many Ultra HD Blu-rays use DTS for their lossless audio tracks. If you see this True TV sound quality, the LG C3 TV speakers have a decent frequency response. They have an okay low frequencies extension, but like most TVs, they can't produce much bass. The LG C3 doesn't get very loud. Even then, it can't avoid compression and pumping artifacts at max volume. The TV does have a well-balanced sound profile at moderate listening levels, resulting in clear dialogue. On the other hand, S90C can't produce much bass but has an overall well-balanced sound profile. So dialogue is clear, it sounds good at or near its maximum volume but doesn't get very loud. LG C3 has fair distortion performance. The speakers struggle to handle distortion when being fed multiple simultaneous frequencies, as seen in their high levels of intermodulation distortion. The TV performs better when dealing with distortion from individual fundamental frequencies. On the other hand, S90C TV has decent distortion performance. It performs very well in the treble range, and there isn't much distortion at max volume. But again, this is helped by the TV's low maximum volume. The LG C3 runs the 2023 version of LG's proprietary smart interface web operating system. The interface is fast and easy to use, and it supports user profiles, so you can customize the homepage for different users. On the other hand, S90C runs the 2023 version of Tizen operating system, which is easy to use. The smart app interface is smooth and has many advanced options, making it easy to find your favorite content. Unfortunately, like almost all smart TVs, there are ads throughout the smart interface and you can't fully disable them. There are two settings in the home settings menu, namely the home promotion and content recommendation settings, which remove the top banner ads and suggested content from the home screen on LG C3. But there's no way to remove ads from the apps page. On the other hand, S90C, like most TVs on the market, there are ads throughout the interface of the Samsung S90C, and there's no option to disable them completely. Like other web operating system, TVs, the LG C3 OLED has a great selection of apps and you are sure to find your favorite content. On the other hand, S90C, the included apps cover most of the common streaming services and great selection of additional apps is available in Samsung's App Store. LG C3 uses the same magic remote as the LG C1 OLED and LG C2 OLED. You can use it as a pointer if you prefer to navigate menus that way instead of using the buttons. There are also microphones on the TV allowing for hands-free voice control. Voice control on the LG C3 isn't as good as on the LG C2 OLED. You can't ask it to change the backlight, change inputs, or ask basic questions like the weather in your current area. Luckily, you can still ask to open apps and search within apps. On the other hand, S90C remote is identical to the one included with the S95C OLED. The remote is slim and compact and is easy to use. It has a built-in rechargeable battery with a solar panel on the back of the remote. You can also recharge it by USB-C if it dies unexpectedly. The TV is compatible with the Bixby and Alexa voice assistants, and its remote has an integrated microphone for voice commands. Voice controls work well and allow you to launch apps, change inputs, or adjust certain settings. LG C3 has a single button is on the bottom of the TV in the middle. You can turn the TV on or off with it, change inputs or channels, or control the volume. On the other hand, S90C, the controls are on the bottom bezel of the TV near the center. A single button lets you power the TV on off and change channels, volumes, and inputs. So in this 2TV, which TV you like most, please write in the comments below. That's it from now.